More Alice Cooper, one-on-one, live with Kim Mitchell, exclusively on Classic Rock, Q107.
You're part of this station. Little Steven's part of the station. I'm part of the station. We should have done something, but to a big opening for the city of Toronto.
That'd be great. Toronto's like our, plays such a big part in our history. Us being from Detroit, the band CKLW broke our first record. Mm-hmm. Toronto was the the chicken, incident.
Yeah.
It just goes on and on. I mean, there's so many incidents that happen in Toronto that's it's like my second home,
And you have something, Alice, that I was reading about where your band had just started and you came up to get Jack Richardson, who just passed away.
Yeah. It was Jack Richardson totally did not want to sign us, and so to punish Bob Ezrin, who was his, he was his sort of like underling who was just starting up. He sent Bob to the Max's Kansas City to see us play, and he says, "Just get rid of him." Bob saw us play and went. He said, "I'm going to lose my job." Why? He says, "Because I signed them." He said, "I loved them." He said, "I saw them. I saw the future of rock and roll. I saw all this, And Jack said, "Then you produce them." Which was, that 7 albums later. I mean, we had 7 platinum albums in a row with Bob Ezrin.
Yeah. And,
so, he was like our George Martin.
Mm-hmm. And you're working with him again, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I just finished a new album. Finished the 30th anniversary of Welcome to My Nightmare. So we had Welcome to My Nightmare.
Yeah. Now, you also, didn't you, I was reading about some early stuff about you. When you start reading about your career, actually, let's back up here. I'm a musician, you're a musician, I'm in radio, you're in radio. I've been here all day. Do you want to just take over? I think there's your producer.
No, I'm going to let you do this because you're so good at it.
Thanks. Yeah. But I was reading about some of your stuff, early stuff, and did you start on a talent show or something?
It was, we were all high school kids, and the Beatles had just come out. We were all on the high school track team. We were all milers and 2-milers, everybody in the band. And we were all in art class together, and we were all on the journalism staff together. Weird. It was weird. This was before the band ever started. And as soon as the Beatles came out, we said, well, we're all in the Letterman's Club. Let's do a sort of a joke on the Beatles. And we'll call ourselves the Earwigs, and we'll wear Beatle wigs, and we'll make up songs sort of like, but we'll wear our track uniforms and all that. And the minute we got on stage and played the first song, I was hooked. I went, oh, I love this. This is great. And the rest of the guys, we kind of looked at each other and went, let's learn a couple more songs. Boom, boom, boom. We went on, just rolled down the hill. All we wanted to do was just play parties and pick up chicks. Is really what it was.
That's what we all wanted to do.
And, yeah, we were exactly the right age for that. But then it turned into something where we really got good at what we were doing. And then it turned into Alice Cooper after that.
Yeah, how was Alice Cooper born? The image,
it was born
a movie?
It was not out of necessity. It was really one of those things where we went to L.A. and we were competing with the Doors and the Buffalo Springfield and Spirit and all these great bands. And I said, you just can't come out here and be another great band from Phoenix or great band from Santa Fe or great band from wherever, because there's a million great bands. You got to have something that people are going to really talk about. And I said, if they want to be the heroes, let's be the villains. Nobody wants to be the villain. I will gladly be the villain. And that's when Alice was born right then. I said, let's make it so that when we walk in a room, people take a step backwards because they're afraid of us. And that was really it.
Wasn't that the case in Hollywood Squares? Wouldn't housewives, sometimes they wouldn't pick you and they'd lose the game because they're afraid of you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was great, that was the whole idea, was the fact that there was rock and roll needed to be dangerous to me. I thought it needed to be dangerous, so why not have a band that was as much gang as they were band? And we fit that bill perfectly. We lived in Arizona where you could not leave the house in Arizona if you had long hair, unless there were 5 or 6 of you, because the cowboys would kill you. I mean, literally kill you. We had 2 or 3 friends that got killed.
Oh, is that
so,
right?
I mean, we literally had to be... We fought our way out of a couple of bars before after playing the bar.
Yeah, you emptied a bar. What's the emptying the bar? Frank Zappa and your manager. What's that?
Well, finally
in?
We got to California, and finally we got into this club called the Cheetah Club, which was a big club, and there were all these, they decided, Lenny Bruce's birthday party, it was called. So it was the Springfield, the Doors, every great L.A. band, Love, all those really terrific bands. And we came on last. We were the house band there. Mm-hmm. And we came on, I mean, everybody was peace and love and everything's groovy and, everybody was on acid. Except us. We were on beer.
Yeah, the Midwest, we drank beer.
Yeah, that was exactly it. We were the only non-druggies there. And we scared the hell out of them. Because, I mean, we started out with Out in the Street by The Who,
great
but
too.
on 12. And we were in the makeup and uplighting and the whole thing. That place, we cleared that room in about 10 minutes. They couldn't wait to get out the door. And the only people left standing was Shep, my manager, Frank Zappa, and a couple of the GTOs, And Frank said, anybody that has that much power, I got to have on my record company,
Wow.
So he didn't necessarily care about the music. He cared about the instinctive attitude we had on stage. It was like just would take no prisoners at all. Mm-hmm. And so that's why when we go into Detroit, we fit right in because we were right there with the Stooges and the MC5, who were all that type of band. Take no prisoners kind of rock and roll. L.A. wasn't used to that. Detroit, we fit right in.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you mentioned the MC5. I was in a little band. We had little haircuts and stuff from Sarnia, Ontario. We opened for the MC5 once. And the National Guard was around.
They were a political band. I mean, they were the White Panthers. That was the whole thing with those guys. They were connected up into this whole political thing, where we weren't political at all. It was
scary.
We were just scary, and the Stooges were punk, where they were the perfect punk band. Iggy was punk before anybody was. But those bands were all one thing in common. They were all hard rock, guitar rock bands. If you were not loud enough, Detroit would kill you. Mm-hmm. I mean, Seals and Croft would never stand they wouldn't stand for 5 minutes in Detroit because people just didn't. That's exactly what they hated.
Yeah, Detroit's a very tough audience. They threw bullets at me when I opened up for Rush.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this one's got your name on it.
I'm sitting here with Alice Cooper. You want to play anything? You want to play some music? You want to talk about your box set? You want to chat?
I was just listening to your stuff. I'm like you. I think, first of all, if anybody should be DJs, it should be musicians.
Yeah.
Because we pick all the good songs, right?
We do.
Yeah.
So why don't you pick one? What do you want to do? Listen, why don't we talk about your drinking buddy, John Lennon?
Okay.
And maybe a favorite Beatles song.
That would be great. John Lennon, was the one Beatle that was politically activated. That was his whole thing. And his favorite record was Elected. That was his very favorite record. I mean, he said, because it had the humor, it had the satire, but it also had the power. It had that Pete Townsend kind of guitar. We were pretty much doing a tip of the hat to
Elected
to Pete Townsend in The Who. That da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. That was all totally
awesome.
Who stuff.
Yeah.
So that was his favorite record. But
and you drank with him.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, if you were around John, you drank, I was part of the Lost Weekend, yeah.
Is that what it's called? Here's Alice Cooper. We'll be back with more on Q107.